All right, we're at Hennyfield with Jenn Harmount, who is one of 6 candidates for Saline City Council. She is the only incumbent in the race. Jenn, how long have you been on City Council for?
This will be the end of my second year.
This is your second year, so that's one term?
Yep, one term.
Did you run previously?
I did.
You did? Okay, that was a really busy race.
Yeah, 2020.
So what do you think now? You got 6 people in this race here. What did you see when you saw 6 people show up like that?
I'm super excited that there's that many people that want to get involved in their local government. So, yeah.
When you let's before we get into the government stuff, where are you from? You're not originally from Saline, right? Most people, it seems like they aren't anymore. So where are you from?
I'm originally from outside of Detroit. I grew up in Grosse Pointe, and then I relocated to the West Coast for my job back in 1998, and I lived out in Portland for about 16 years, and then I moved back to Saline in 2016.
And is this I think you've said it a few times. I'm not revealing anything out of school by saying that you work for Toyota.
Yeah.
Well, have you always worked for Toyota?
I have.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. And
lots of different jobs. I've done lots of different functions, but yeah.
And it seems like it influences a lot of the way you think about things, processes that can be done at the council table or in the city hall.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could tell me about that a little bit, about what you've learned from the corporate work and how you think some of that can transfer into government.
So I do a lot of root cause analysis and looking at a problem and a problem breakdown to understand what the root of the problem is, and then coming up with countermeasures, and I do that on a daily basis. So I have a lot of experience in project management. I'm a procurement strategy specialist. This is my current job function. I've learned a lot. 2 of the main pillars, and not to get too much into my employer, but 2 of the main pillars that make my employer so successful is continuous improvement and respect for people. And those are 2 things that I really try to carry forward in my personal life as well.
So when you're not doing, I shouldn't have even gotten into government so quickly, but when you're not doing city council stuff, what do you like to do?
I play electric cello.
Okay, I've seen you. Yeah.
I play golf. I am a parent, and so that takes a lot of time. I'm trying to think of what else I like to do. I like to enjoy food, so I'm a little bit of a foodie.
What do you shoot in golf?
Not very well. My enthusiasm and my score do not match.
I've only been golfing like twice in 15 years. But it was fun to go back when I did it last year. Electric cello, how is that different than a regular cello?
You can hook it up to an amp, and you can play over a really loud guitar player. So that's helpful. So you can kind of do some different distortions with it. And I actually own 2 acoustic cellos as well. So I've been playing cello off and on since about 5th grade.
You've done live shows and concerts and things at events in Saline, right?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. When you think about why you ran, maybe even the first time you ran, why did you want to get involved in all these meetings and sometimes disputes and late nights and all that kind of stuff?
So I'm a property owner. I own property in Saline, downtown Saline. And one of the things I noticed right when I moved to town was that there were some projects that had been stalled, and it seemed like not just one, several different projects in different states that they hadn't completed on time. And I started asking questions, and one of them was impacting across the street for a development that they wanted to put in that had been stalled, that the developer wanted to come and have it rezoned for a higher occupancy, and the plans didn't match the aesthetics to the neighborhood. It didn't match really what the original plans were.
Is this the Damien Farrell?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was something that and then the smell of the wastewater treatment plant is right, like at ground zero for that. Although I will have to say I've not noticed anything for really quite a long time. So.
That's really good. I guess it helps be on that side of the plant too. That probably helps just even a little bit more.
Yeah.
It has improved a lot. I remember Mayor Merle didn't believe me when I said I could smell it right around here. I live a block over. And he didn't believe me. He thought it was impossible. I said, I'm telling you, I could smell it. I've not smelled that citywide in years. So I think improvement is obviously.
So for a lot of folks, one of the things you bring up is a really good point. A lot of time, if things are going really smoothly, it should be not noticeable, right? Like you shouldn't notice that there's, it should just go smoothly. So the fact that I was noticing some things and I thought, maybe I need to, help get involved. And it's one thing to complain about it, but if you want to be part of the, be part of the solution, you got to get involved.
So that one issue with Damian Farrell, it brought Don Kraus. I think it got her more involved. It got you more involved. So it was a pretty impactful, influential issue in terms of the future of the city. What do you think of the new development there?
I'm hopeful. They
Yeah.
look good. They look like they're going in. They look nice.
Cool. So you've decided to run again. Tell us why you're running.
I think that there's more to continuous improvement to be done, and so I like being involved. I want to be part of the solution. I want to maybe take some of the experience that I have in processes and root cause analysis and countermeasuring and try to implement that to have a little bit, maybe reduce some of the strains that we're seeing on the dais. And
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but you showed me that one document earlier.
Yeah.
And that seems like a Toyota solution in a way, doesn't it?
I think that it's so
It's to
eight-step
help-
problem solving
Right.
is taught in many different colleges. It's kind of the gold standard, and this is
Well, you were one of several council members to say during the city manager search / controversy or whatever, to say, hey, look, I'd at least come here and explain how these candidates were weighed, and so you can understand this decision more. How do you think your suggestion here might help something like that?
I think that the more you can plan and make sure that things are considered up front and you have a standard process so you don't miss things, and you're going to save a lot of time on the back end fixing things, and money on the back end and resources. So I think that that's really important, and I think that we are not necessarily doing the best job at reflecting on what didn't go correct and making sure that we're implementing, we have a process and we're implementing improvements to the process to help make sure that those countermeasures and there's things that don't happen further down the road. Again, we don't want to have repeat.
When you think about where things are now, and we still don't have a contract with the new guy, the new city manager, I don't want to call him city manager yet, but the guy that the city council has chosen. Are you okay with where things are now? Do you still have? I know you were one of the council people who wanted to see Al Cole, see her get a better shot. You got her up there, but it kind of felt like didn't really matter. It was going to be 4-3 at the most anyway. But how do you feel about the process at this moment and where it's going next?
I think that we've been here before with the city manager, and who knows if we'll have to be down this road again. I think it's really going to behoove us to look at what didn't work and make sure that we've countermeasured that as far as what, maybe some of the discord we had in the dais. I think some of that could have been avoided if we would have had a little bit better process, and it also helps alleviate any sort of speculation of volition or anything like that. Having a good process and being able to be standard with it, I think will be helpful.
Now I'm thinking I'm getting something confused in my head, but the actual document you showed me was about how to do a project, right?
A subcommittee.
A subcommittee project?
Yeah, subcommittee report
I
out
think
recommendation.
I let my bias kind of take me somewhere there. But yeah, and that was for something that was for instance, like you were involved in the green space project downtown. And how much do you think something like that, a process that like you always followed, would help a city council subgroup get something like this done?
I think it would be great. I think that it could be used for any sort of decision that's made. And I'll just real quick outline what it is. So it's the first step is identifying I can read it out.
Yeah.
The first step is identifying the scope. So
Yeah.
defining the scope. The second step, and also who are the stakeholders? Like who does this impact? Who are the stakeholders? The second step would be establishing criteria. What's important to this specific assessment project or decision that needs to be made. So setting that criteria and understanding how you're going to weight it. Some things are going to be more important than others. If you're going on vacation, do you want to be near the ocean or do you want to be in town? So you need to weight, and maybe we need to make sure that we are weighted and we're in alignment with the strategic plan as well. Getting the stakeholder feedback, making sure we didn't miss out on any considerations or any risk or anything. And then the next step would be to evaluate the criteria. So you're letting the data drive the decision as opposed to the decision driving the data, right? So you got evaluating the criteria, and then you're looking at the overall weighting and saying that, okay, what's the recommendation? What does the data say? What are the recommendations? And then that's the recommendation. Having a way that's presented and it's explained, not just so the folks that are in the subcommittee understand it, but the folks that are in the community understand it, as well as the other folks that are not part of the subcommittee also understand it.
Speaking of that downtown green space position, how excited were you? I mean, you guys seem like you kind of got it done under the wire, got something out there, you're going to get considered. How excited were you then, and where are we now? Because it kind of feels like we've lost momentum on this.
Yeah. So one of the parts is the reflection is to make sure that we're following up from any sort of good project management is looking at the milestones. Where do we want to be by when, and what are the things in between that we need to get done before that? So that's a question that we've put back on the acting city manager as well, to give us an update with the the funds for the grant funds and where we're at with the concept. Does the concept still match what we originally saw? Are there any changes or deviations from that? So we need to get an update on that.
Yes, we need an update on that. But I've heard that Tyler Kinley is still working and things are still moving. Maybe might not be as big or something as what was originally talked about, but I'm not sure. So a couple issues have recently come up. The fire department assessment. Do you have any? How do you feel about where we should go with our fire department? Is it too early to say, or? I
think it's too early to say. I think I'm really concerned. It's a very, very important decision, and different decisions impact different things, and I want to make sure safety of the residents, and also safety. There's some aggregate safety from the communities that are around us as well, and we don't operate in a bubble. The things that we do impact the communities that surround us, and we really need to make sure that we're taking all of that into consideration.
It seems like one of the options that was considered was Saline having a city-owned, city-run fire department, maybe contracting out some of the services that way. But the costs there seem exorbitant. $16 million up front and almost the same costs to the city on an annual basis. Does that seem like it's pretty much a no-go?
I'm thinking that I would look at that from an amortized standpoint. Of
okay, I don't really understand that.
Who are the folks that are in the city, and how many years would that be to?
Right.
Yeah, does that make sense? Is that the right decision? It sounds like it's a lot of money, so that would be, how's that going to impact safety? Is it going to, where are we with safety currently? Where do we, how would that impact our safety, improve it?
And is it really having more city representation and no other representation? Is that really maybe good for a department that will potentially still serve some of these other communities? Saline Township, for instance. It's a question I would have. How about the rec center? Are you a member of that task force?
No.
Okay. This issue's been batted around for quite a while. Well, do you have any? I don't think I'm going to get many gut reactions from you. But do you have any thoughts, any leanings on this, on where we should go with the rec center?
I think it's really important. I've said it from the beginning that we have to have some sort of level of solvency with that, with the rec center, and it's a want. We need to look at what is the best for the community that meets with our funds,
Yeah.
what is going to meet the most folks in our community to service, and we need to take care of the things that we need, that are, and try to avoid having extra millage for the things that we need, let alone the things that are maybe a want. I think that I listened to Dean's response, and I have to say I'm pretty in line with some of the things that he said, is that, really going to have to sell me on, those funds over other funds that are necessary to be expended for our infrastructure.
So it'll be interesting to see where that comes out. Although there's 3 months, but I just don't see where. It's kind of disappointing that, I guess, the timeline was so quick. They wanted this done by July, and I think that the memo said 6 months, but it was only 3 months or something like that. So you only had 3 months to sort of come up with a study and then convince City Council whether or not we're going to go for a millage in November, I think was the original thinking. And we're not going to get a millage going in by November at this point. So it's going to be, unless something magic happens with the membership and the fees, it's going to be bankrolling that thing for a little while yet. It's going to cost you guys. I forget what percentage Dean said, but Dean talked about a percentage of how much the city is funding that thing, funding the rec center, and it's pretty high.
Yeah, it's in the budget.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what other issues do you really want to talk about? I've talked about the ones that they talk about every week, but are there any other issues that are really driving you as we head towards November?
Yeah, I really like to see that the direction that the city's going with the GIS and the mapping of our horizontal assets. And for those that are listening, the horizontal assets that I learned are the roads, the things that you don't see underneath the surface, and that we really need to have more of a proactive approach, as far as what we've had a lot in the past is a reactive when it comes to our infrastructures. And there's a lot of, it's a big topic that there's not the funding for the local roads is, and we're going to need to make sure that we have enough to take care of the local roads. And part of it is making sure that we have the right fix for the right time to have the most economical solution for that asset, for the infrastructure of the roads.
So I want to give you a chance to showcase your experience. 2 years. That's obviously an advantage that you have that some of the other, none of the other. Well, Jim DeLorca has some experience. Okay. You got years of experience. You're up to date on the issues. How important is that for you? Do you feel going into potentially another term? You're not really learning on the go like you were.
I really love the momentum that I was able to get, because I really feel your first term is really understanding. You go to meetings, but then when you're actually on council, you understand a lot of the background with the background and doing your research and asking questions in the community, and there's a lot to that. So I feel like I went to the Michigan Municipal Leagues, and so I've had a chance to do some training, and so I really I'm looking forward to building off of that.
And all the laws and policies and everything else, it takes a while to get to know all that stuff. I'll just finish off by asking you why you think, this was in everybody's question, but why do you think voters should choose you? It's still months away, but for the next election, why should they re-elect Jenn Harmount?
Because I really am a very non-biased person, because I will tell you, I will look at the data and I will change my mind if the data says something that I'm flexible that way. I don't lock in and then don't look back. I definitely am always looking to see where I can improve. I'm always looking to see where we can improve, and if they say that we don't have anything to improve in, then maybe that's not the right candidate. So I'm always looking for ways that we can improve things, or I can improve myself to be a better asset to the community.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Sorry
Fran.
for the delay, and this wasn't live, but it'll be going up tonight.
Thanks.